Hello and welcome back, folks, to this week's episode of the PWD Pokemon World Domination Pick Ems. Last week, which was week 6, was a exciting but highly controversial for sure week. And for me, it just means that the competition is super tight. So just to really quickly go over last week's winners, as well as some of the pick'em scores. We had the Lisbon Arcanine over the Tokyo Toxapex. We had the Manchester Mimikyu in the upset of the season over the Immortal Drampa. We had the Nashville Nidoking take a win by forfeit to the Cianwood City Quagsire. Shouts out to Coach Ryan of the Cianwood City Quagsire. We hope all is well with you. The Atlanta Sobble won a controversial 4-4 timer win over the Straw Hat Crocodile. The Los Angeles Infernape won a controversial timer win over the Fargo Phalanx. The New York Nicket won the Battle of New York, and the Stark Mountain Giratina pulled a, once again, controversial timer victory over the Lake of Rage Gyarados. So, as I go into some of the leaders, let's take a look at this week's matchups. From last week, we had a pretty even race. We had Coach Southside Braves of the Nashville Nidokings and Coach Bloud of the Immortal Drampa leading the way with 5 out of 7 correct, which is pretty impressive. But right behind them is Arts, Coach Squid, and Coach Nue with all 4. So it was a pretty good week for people in their pick'em guesses. Right now, the current standings still have Coach Arts ahead as the sole leader now, though, at 21. I haven't been overthrown for second yet, but Coach Southside Braves is right behind me, 19-18, after a strong performance this week. And getting straight into this week's matchups. First of all, we've got the Nashville Nidoking against the Tokyo Toxapex. With the Tokyo Toxapex and Coach James still kind of in a mid-season rebuild, I really don't know what to expect out of this team. And that is the number one reason why I'm going to go for the Nashville Nidoking. I would really like to make a note that a lot of these 3-3 teams, especially when they go up against one another, are really hard to pick on. Because obviously not only do they have an even record, a lot of these coaches, it's really hard to decide. 4 of the 7, there's 7, no, 4 of the 8 3-3 teams will get to make playoffs, and the other 4 won't. So it's really hard. I'm gonna take the Nashville Nidoking on that one, but it's a little tempting to see at least 1 or 2 more in the win column for Coach James this season. But we will see how his rebuild turns out for him. Next we have Coach Nue in the New York Noctowl versus Coach Bloud in the Immortal Drampa. A Battle of New York, unofficial Battle of New York. And I'm going to take Coach Nue on this one. I'm very surprised that Coach Nue has lost 2 in a row. I don't expect him to continue that trend. I think he'll turn it back around this week. Speaking of turning things back around, there is a slight hesitation because I hope that, like Ryan's health wasn't like maybe he had a weekend illness, a bug. Seasons are changing. He maybe was feeling under the weather. I hope that he doesn't have like a serious issue with his health. that would affect my decision if I were to know more about his personal situation. But hoping that his health is okay. I'm definitely wishing the best for Coach Ryan. I think that the CM City Quagsires will get back on track this week against the Stark Mountain Giratina. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great battle, and I hope that it turns into a classic. I hope, I hate to see somebody forfeit a match, and I definitely hate to see it for health reasons. It's definitely more important to take care of yourself than to play Pokemon in a draft league. But we, your friends in the draft league, wish you all well with your health. So hoping Coach Ryan comes back strong and picks up the win this week. Moving on, we have the New York Nicket and the Lisbon Arcanine. And this is one of those matches where it's 2 3-3 teams going head to head. Any other week of the season, with the amount of playoff implications that are probably going to come from this battle, this would be my matchup of the week. It's very close. I expect this one to be pretty split. But I was in the repeat ball recaps video this week, and we did, a lot of like mid-season rewards. I heaped a ton of praise on Coach Squid. And I mean, he also had a really impressive showing from what I understand last week. I didn't catch the video yet. If it's been posted, I just haven't got around to it. But man, I hear he's a hot coach on the rise. I'm going to give him my pick this week. It's hard, because I know I can't pick Bishme next week. We play. But, I mean, look for me to... This one's a close one. Like I said, look for this one to be a pretty split decision. When it comes to the Straw Hat Crocodile and the Los Angeles Infernape, I believe that this will be my upset of the week, and it's not a very big upset to pick, but I think that Coach Shade and his team will be able to pull this one out. Just to be frank, I think that Coach Shade's team plays against Coach Sosa's very well, and plays against the coach very well. And this comes from personal experience, having just played against the Straw Hat Crocodiles the week prior. Shade's team is extremely stressful on a prep-heavy coach like myself and Coach Sosa. So, also, Shade added a new member to his team, which, granted, he traded the Sableye that gave me such a hard time, but I traded him a Pokemon that fits his theme of unpredictability and versatility and potency in a way for a D tier, and that's Glalie, which is able to use its Moody ability, and I expect will fit right at home on the Straw Hat Crocodile roster. Yeah, I think that this will be my upset pick. I like to try to guess at least one to be an upset every week, and I think that this will be the time that I go against the odds this week. So moving on, we have the Fargo Phalanx versus the Manchester Mimikyu. Shout out to Coach Peekaboo for his season highlighting performance. I mean, this was one of the better performances of the season, one of the biggest shocking results of the season, and just big cheers to Coach Peekaboo for last week's performance. However, that was 1 week, and I do feel like Coach Shiny Shuriken and the Fargo Phalanx have been playing pretty hot for a minute now. They did lose their last one, but they had the position to win without a timer. They played extremely well. I definitely wouldn't knock Coach Shiny Shuriken's play as a major factor in why he lost. You know, obviously in his own analysis, maybe he could find some things he could have done better to not have the result that he didn't want. But from an analysis perspective, you know, you can't really pick on a lot of mistakes that he's made throughout his season. He's been fairly consistent in that respect. I'm going to go with the favorite, the Fargo Phalanx, in this matchup. And then I cannot wait for this one. We have what, I mean, I think is a common consensus, but what I definitely consider, for my opinion, to be the first, I called it the King of the Hill matchup for this league. I know that we, you know, don't have Coach Sosa right in the mix at the top of the standings. However, the Atlanta Sable and the Lake of Rage Gyarados have been two of the most consistent, dominating, and front-running teams this season. And I mean that in the sense of standings, of course. Front-running ahead of the rest of the league. This battle was literal seconds away from being a battle of two 5-1 coaches. And I cannot wait for this high-level classic match to unfold, to see which way it goes. You know, also adds to the excitement that me and Arts are great friends. We've done series together on our streams. We commonly feature in each other's videos, and I just know it's going to be a good one. You know, at the end of the day, I wish my good friend the best, but I gotta go with the Atlanta Sable. I never pick against my team, so y'all already knew that when we came into this video. I cannot wait to see what everybody else thinks as far as how this one will unfold. Will Gyarados pick up another 4 or 5 kills? Will my team be able to slow him down and put some blemishes on the current front runner for MVP's kill and death ratio? Man, this is going to be a guaranteed classic. And of course, I wish everybody else good luck in their battles this week. But as for the rest of this video, y'all already know what to do. Comments is a great place. It's honestly become like the #1 place. But of course, you can DM me, post it in the PWD chat, you know, the Discord chat. But make your picks, folks. Some of y'all have been falling off on making your picks. I don't know if you haven't been watching the videos. Maybe life gets busy. I can understand, maybe missing a week or two. I myself missed a week of doing the Pick'em videos, of course. But make sure y'all getting back on these Pick'ems. The race for the season is close. Every week is highly competitive, and it just makes it more interesting. All the more interesting as it already is, to watch these battles between a roster full of talented coaches unfold. But that's all I got for y'all today. Until next time, I can't wait to see y'all's picks. I can't wait to see y'all's matches. The best of luck. And yeah, that's it. Pretty much. Peace.